ZABoxingNation, where boxing lives, breathes, and breaks down. We've got serious updates today, from rising heavyweight monsters to $1 million offers getting passed up. We're talking Moses Itauma's rise in this fight game, Bob Arum's doubts about Pacquiao's return, Brandon Figueroa's return to the ring, Jack Catterall's move up to 147, and Floyd Schofield's team turning down again $1 million for a risky but rewarding fight with Abdullah Mason. Let's break it all down. Let's start with Moses Itauma, one of the most exciting heavyweight prospects in boxing right now. He's only 19 years old, and Moses Itauma is showing crazy maturity in the ring. He's not just a brawler. He's patient, poised, precise, and explosive. He recently steamrolled his last opponent. I've been wanting to do a good cover on Moses Itauma for a little while now, but I wanted to allow him to develop a little bit more. He's being molded very carefully, but fans are already whispering that he might be the next big thing in the heavyweight division. He's fighting out of the UK, maybe even sooner than expected to come to the USA. His blend of speed, power, and poise reminds me of people like Anthony Joshua, but with smoother footwork and faster hands. And let's be honest, in a post-Fury, post-Wilder era, the heavyweight division needs a young lion like this. The question is, will Frank Warren match him up tough extremely soon? Or will we get to see Moses Itauma develop into one of the greatest heavyweights to ever put on a pair of gloves? The fans are watching, and so are the other heavyweights. Now let's switch gears to something that's raising a few eyebrows. Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao is set to return July 19th against Mario Barrios. Manny stepping back in the ring at 46 years old. And Bob Arum is not thrilled. Bob Arum recently said, "I love Manny, but I worry. Age is undefeated." And I believe he's got a point. Father Time always catches up at some point. Manny Pacquiao hasn't fought since losing to your Dennis Ugas in 2021. That's nearly 3 years of ring rust. And to be in your 40s, that's not a joke. I feel the exact same way about Gabriel Rosado coming back into the ring. This is an extremely dangerous sport. Even the greats can't outrun time forever. And while Manny Pacquiao still looks sharp in training, so did Mike Tyson before the Jake Paul fight. We all know that sparring isn't the same as a real fight. Could this one be the fight that shows us the cost of longevity? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Is this a legit comeback fight, or is this just a step too far? Now, speaking of July 19th card, we've got Brandon the Heartbreaker Figueroa returning to the ring on the undercard facing Joet Gonzalez. This is actually a sneaky good matchup. Brandon Figueroa hasn't fought since his war with Stephen Fulton. So this is going to be a real test for him. Joet Gonzalez is extremely durable. He's battle tested, and he's always game for a fight. This could absolutely steal the show if Manny Pacquiao's return ends up being more a spectacle than a scrap. Make sure you're tuned in early for this fight. I think it's going to be fireworks. Now, let's talk about a fight that just got announced. Jack Catterall versus Harlem Eubank on July 5th in Manchester. This one's big because it marks Catterall's first fight at welterweight. He's been chasing big names at 140 pounds. His last fight coming up short against the guy Teofimo Lopez just beat. But the opportunities just were not there. Now he's moving up to 147 pounds. And Harlem Eubank is extremely slick. He's an awkward test to debut against at 147 pounds. But nevertheless, I believe that stylistically, this is a great matchup. Harlem Eubank is no pushover. He's unbeaten. He's fast on his feet. And he's got that signature Eubank confidence. Jack Catterall will be the favorite, but there's always risk when moving up in weight. Will the power carry? Will the speed translate? July 5th, we'll find out. All right, now for the most controversial story of the week. Floyd Schofield's father says they turned down a $1 million offer to fight Abdullah Mason, and I've got thoughts. Apparently, Golden Boy offers Floyd Schofield a 5-year deal worth $5 million. So around $1 million per year. And if they stay the course, but I believe that that's a safe path. I believe that Floyd Schofield Jr. is gonna be worth a lot more down the line. All right, now for the most controversial story of the week. Floyd Schofield's father says they turned down a $1 million offer to fight Abdullah Mason. And I've got thoughts. Apparently, Golden Boy offered Floyd Schofield a 5-year deal worth $5 million. That's about $1 million a year, but that's the safe path. Now imagine this. Floyd Schofield Jr. takes the Mason fight, wins, becomes a legit household name, and suddenly he's worth way more than $1 million per year. Instead of being locked into a long-term deal, he'd be in position to negotiate top dollar for every future fight. Why would you turn down $1 million to fight Abdullah Mason and instead fight for 5 years? But they passed on the Mason fight, and I get it. Abdullah Mason is a young threat. He's sharp, aggressive, and he's rising fast. But still, at some point, a fighter has to bet on themselves. If Floyd Jr. believes he's that guy, the kind of generational talent that some say he is, then why not take the risk now while the reward is sky high? Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Would Floyd Schofield Jr. do better taking this fight now with Abdullah Mason and becoming a household name and then renegotiating the deal with Golden Boy Promotions? Or should he just take the $5 million and run with it? That's it for today's breakdown. From heavyweight hype to $1 million moves, we're seeing boxing shift right in front of our eyes. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on an update. This is ZABoxingNation, where champions get analyzed and legends are made. If you're new here, keep your hands up, and I'll catch you in the next one.